Hi everybody and welcome. This is the third Formula Car Challenge weekend of the year. First, to get this out of the way, I'm holding the microphone here because you can probably hear the cars passing by and it's very noisy, so I'm having to get this up in my face so that you can actually hear me. This weekend we're at Thunderhill Raceway in Willows in Northern California. The weather here is hot and very sunny. It's actually been a little bit hard on the car. It's running a little bit warm, but nothing too dangerous. It's actually been about 2 years since I've been to this track, so this morning during practice I was kind of having to dust off some mental cobwebs since it's been a while, but qualifying followed thereafter and it was pretty alright. We were able to strap on new tires. Finally, this is the first time this season that I've gotten to put new tires on the car, so it's wonderful to finally have that grip again. I was still searching for some speed though during qualifying. I still came out about a second slower than my usual pace from previous races that we've had here before. So I went ahead and tried to make some changes for the car before we start the race. We dropped the wing a couple degrees to flatten it out and reduce the drag on the car. As a result of that happening, I expect to lose some of my aerodynamic grip in the rear as well. So to try and make up for that, I also tried to loosen the rear sway bar. So hopefully that'll give the car some flex and still allow the rear wheels to grip and then allow me to get some extra straightaway speed here, because at this track it is all just high-speed corners. It's the biggest thing here. Just that's where we shave off the most time, is if we can get those straightaways hard and fast. So qualifying went pretty alright. I was hoping to be a little further up, but after those changes I'm hoping that I can move up maybe a couple spots if possible. But I qualified in 5th place. The margin between me and 4th and me in 6th is next to nothing, so I imagine this race we're probably going to be spending the whole time just all grouped together having a race all by ourselves. So my hope is to just get out of that group and ahead of it as fast as I can to see if I can chase down the leading guys. Alright, so this is the race on Saturday. We're lining up for the start right now. I was starting in 5th place for this race, directly behind Kevin Rogers in the blue number 16 car and in front of Stu Tabak in the yellow and purple 28. All three of us were in a real tight group together. We were separated only by about maybe half a second or less, so we were expecting a real tight race for this one. So we're all lined up here waiting for the green flag, and as soon as it drops, I get a pretty good run on it actually. You can see on the side there, Stu in the back starts to fade off, and actually so does Kevin. So I was able to move up into 4th for the first turn, holding my ground, except my exit was just a little bit tight, and you can see Kevin there behind me had a little bit of a better round running through the outside, is able to get around here. So we held this formation for a good little while for the race, so I really wanted that spot back and I kept on pushing for it. And about midway through the race, when we're coming on to the main straightaway here, I prepare myself for a good draft, kind of planning out a pass into turn 1, just sticking my car right behind his to get myself out of the wind. So rolling along, 4th gear, 5th gear coming up, you can see that my car is starting to pull his car in. I moved to the inside of the track, and probably a little bit too far to the inside, because you can see it totally screwed up my exit. I lost all my exiting speed and totally opened the door for Stu to just pass me right on the inside there. So now I'm back in position from where I started. I'm running in 6th right now, so I really want to get that spot back so I can at the very least get my starting position. And luckily I was able to do that more towards the end of the race. It's only a couple laps left. I was able to outbrake Stu entering this corner here, and I'll say it was only just. You can see the car got a little bit loose and I had to do a late downshift down to 1st gear to get myself a proper launch out of there. Alright, hello again. This is day 2 at Thunderhill Raceway. It is super windy today. It's crazy. So first, we'll get out of the way. Yesterday, the race was pretty good. I was battling like crazy and everything, as you saw, for 5th place. And there's lots of defense and then lots of attacking for the position, but I ended up coming out in 5th for that race. So not bad. I was still hoping for some better results this weekend, but you know, we'll just keep pushing, keep trying some changes on the car, and then see what we can make of it. Today I actually just finished qualifying maybe about an hour ago or so. We decided to put the wing back a little bit closer to the position that I had it in for qualifying yesterday, and the same goes with the sway bar too. I wanted to move it back. The race yesterday, the back end started feeling a little bit too loose on the faster corners, so I wanted to correct that and give myself a little bit more confidence in the car through some of these fast turns. This track is all about the high-speed corners. That's where you make up the most ground. That's where you shave off the most time on your lap time. So those have been the focal point of my speed for this whole weekend. This race is coming up pretty quick here, and it is very sunny. The motors are all running hot on everybody's car, and it is insanely windy. It's making the entry into turn 1 way faster than what we're used to, and it's making the turns 7 and 8, where the wind is pushing against us, way slower than what we're used to. So there's some changes to how I've got to be driving the track. So qualifying was a little bit of a learning experience, and as far as getting used to what I'm going to be expecting for the race. They also made an adjustment to, I think it's turn 12, 13, something back there, where they decided to kind of close off one of the exits for the corners. You probably saw in the last video my exit to one of the turns when I was sneaking up behind Stu during the race. I would exit way wide to give myself more speed exiting that turn. I could carry, second gear through there, no problem. And now they, I guess they took notice to me and some other drivers who are doing the same thing, and decided to kind of give us a little bit less space on the exit there. So that corner is tightened up significantly now. So that slowed it down a little bit for me, but after qualifying, I came out in 5th place for qualifying, so same as yesterday, but some of the other positions have been shuffled around among the other drivers, and some of the other front runners have slowed down as well. So I'm hoping for this race I'll be able to, sneak up on them a little bit better than I was yesterday, and hope that I can use their tiredness to my advantage. So now we are lining up for the race again. You can see the running order is a little bit different from yesterday's. Basically, Kevin and Stu switched spots. This time Stu's starting ahead of me, and Kevin is starting in the position behind me. And unfortunately, I also got stuck starting on the right side of the track, which tends to also be the dirty side of the track on the straightaway and into the first turn. And you can see as soon as the green flag came out there was a little bit of a hesitation in front of me, and I had nowhere to go to try and avoid anything, so I got stuck losing my momentum as I lifted off the throttle. And now I'm running on the outside of the course in that dirty part of the track I was talking about, which really slowed me down. And you can see Kevin was taking a peek on the inside of the turn there, and he's landed it. So this puts me back 1 position. I'm back from 5th, down into 6th now. So the good majority of this race I spent just battling with Kevin. You can see we're coming off the corner in the back section of the track here. He had a little bit of a wiggle slowing down his exit and getting me a better run on him in the straightaway. And so you can see I'm pulling him on the draft here, looking to outbrake him into this turn, but just couldn't quite pull it off. He was giving me enough room, and as we share the track side by side, it wasn't too bad, but I just couldn't get the speed to actually get around. And on a different spot of the track here, I am not totally sure what was going on, if he was getting nervous or just had a little bit of a mistake or something, but you can see he almost spun on the inside of that turn there, splashed a bunch of rocks and dirt in my face. And after that, I kept trying over and over and over to make passes, and each lap it was in the same corner. We were running through this almost the exact same way every time, just side by side entering that corner, me trying to outbrake him. And then later in the race, on the last lap actually, I was trying to get around any way that I could. And you can see I'm trying to get around in the turn 7 and 8, which are the fastest, or some of the fastest turns on the course, but use better judgment on that one. I was getting a little nervous that trying to run the exit too fast may have put my car into his, so he ended up finishing ahead of me, but it was alright. We had some great racing between us. It was lots of fun and close, and still safe, best of all.